Did I mention that if an Animorph stays morphed for over 2 Earth hours, they're trapped in that form forever? In Andalite terms, they become monothelate. Tobias fell victim to this, which I'm guessing made him a fan favourite considering he got a Deluxe and a Mega Class figure in this toy line. So, for a change, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Or in the Deluxe's case, kill it with fire. This is supposed to be a red-tailed hawk. I explained in my review of Marco why the Animorphs concept doesn't work in toy form, but whereas the human modes are usually the ones to suffer, this figure has the opposite problem. In-universe, the arms would turn into wings, but there's no way they could have pulled that off and have it look good. Instead, they become the bird's legs. They didn't even try to hide the hands. His human legs form the bird's chest. My guess is they didn't want to have a repeat of Airraiser, where the legs were too large and humanoid looking. Honestly, I would have preferred it if these were the hawk's legs. At least the placement looks more natural. There's also the bird head, i.e. the mutant head with the beak. That's actually kinda clever, as it arguably fits the concept better, in that you have the mid-morph head, and the beak completes the transition. The problem is that it looks disjointed. A, because the beak is too large, and B, it doesn't completely cover the human portion of the face, though I suppose the flesh line could pass as the seer. Finally, some of the colour choices, specifically the yellow for the shirt and the grey for the trousers, make the human kibble stand out even more. What's sad is that promo shots have Deluxe Tobias wearing a tan shirt, a colour that would fit both modes. If they had stuck with that and made the trousers the same shade of brown, it might not have saved this thing, but it would be a step in the right direction. To be fair, there are some redeeming qualities. The feathers are well moulded, and the airbrush paint on the tail and part of the wings looks pretty nice, if only they finished the job. The wings spread out, or you can fold them as if he's perched. Even if this was a proper transformer, the beast mode would still bite. But as is, I'd say that this is the best they could do with a bird in this line, if not for the Mega. Ignoring the obvious ripped shorts, this hawk soars miles above the Deluxe, I'm telling you. The feather detailing is good, as well as consistent. The colours work a lot better, the paint job is complete, and furthermore, it looks like a hawk. Actually, with how big it is, it feels like one of those electronic flapping bird toys you hang from the ceiling. No electronics here. Instead, we have a gimmick where you pull part of the tail back and the wings splay open. However, on my copy, the right wing doesn't stay furled. This is just a pet peeve, but I wish they'd stop making gimmicks spring-loaded when it's not needed, because of QC issues like this. That goes for his other feature. Push the toes back, and the talons spring shut. You also have manual articulation in the head, lower beak, and legs. This is probably the most human-looking of all the Deluxes, but it's not exactly flawless either. As you can see, there's a ton of bird kibble. At least the talons come in handy later on, plus the wings fold up neatly behind him. I'd say all this junk makes him back-heavy, except the tail hangs down so low it actually supports him in poses with the legs bent. Deluxe Tobias has 14 points of articulation, and I'm being generous in counting the feet, though once again, some of the joints are restricted for no good reason. Yes, humans are only so flexible, but come on, it's an action figure. You have some leeway, you know. Aside from that, there isn't much else to say. The clothes are well molded with the collar, creases, shoelaces, etc. And the head? Well yeah, it does look a bit like TJ from his early videos. And let's not forget his mid-morph mode. I kinda like this. Reminds me of the live-action Birdman. As for the Mega's human mode, well, it's on par with the rest. In fact, I dare say it's one of the worst. Okay, the box at least addresses it as a mid-morph human, but it's still horribly proportioned, with the bulky body and legs, crooked arms with panels screwed to the shoulders, and a pinhead that seems like it was Frankensteined on at the last minute. Even Marco Gorilla looks better than this. Mega Tobias has 15 points of articulation. Again, the feet barely count. Instead of waist rotation like on the Deluxe, we have ball-jointed wrists. Though frankly the best poses you're gonna get pretty much reflect my thoughts on this guy. He has a mutant head of his own. It's hideous. Moving on. Actually, that just about wraps things up. While there are positives to both, when the toys are more tragic than the character they represent, you know something's wrong. Unless you're a fan of Tobias, the toy line, or the Animorphs franchise, period, you can safely skip these.